I was abandoned at the altar. 3 days later, I saved a stranger's life and became part of the Mafia. I should have known something was wrong when Marcus stopped looking at me during breakfast. He sat across from me at the little cafe table, sunlight pouring through the window, and he couldn't meet my eyes. His coffee went cold. He kept checking his phone. I told myself it was wedding nerves. Everyone gets nervous. I was wearing the dress my mother wore. Lace sleeves, pearl buttons down the back. It fit perfectly. She died 3 years before, and wearing it made me feel like she was still with me somehow. The church was small. White roses everywhere. My father had already walked down the aisle to take his seat. I stood in the back room, alone, waiting for the music to start. That's when Marcus's brother came in. He wouldn't look at me either. "He's not coming," he said. Just like that. 4 words. I didn't understand at first. I actually laughed. Like it was a joke. Like Marcus was going to jump out and say he was kidding. But his brother's face didn't change. "He left an hour ago," he said. "I'm sorry. I don't remember what happened next. I think I sat down. I think someone brought me water. I heard my father's voice in the hallway, angry then broken. I heard people leaving. The church emptied in 20 minutes. I sat there in my mother's dress, and I didn't cry. I just felt hollow, like someone had reached inside me and scooped everything out. My father drove me home. He didn't say anything. What could he say? I lived in a small apartment on the east side. 3rd floor, no elevator. I climbed the stairs in my wedding dress and unlocked the door. Everything was gone. Not everything. My things were still there. But Marcus's stuff, his clothes, his books, the coffee maker he loved, gone. He'd packed while I was getting ready. He'd planned this. I stood in the middle of the empty living room, and I finally cried. Not because I missed him, but because I'd been so blind. I didn't leave the apartment for 3 days. People called. I didn't answer. My cousin came by and left groceries outside the door. I brought them in at night when I knew she was gone. I couldn't face anyone. On the 4th day, I forced myself to shower, to eat something, to open the curtains. I needed air. I walked to the park 6 blocks away. It was late afternoon, almost evening, the kind of light that makes everything look softer than it is. I sat on a bench near the fountain and just breathed. That's when I saw him, a man in a dark coat, standing by the water. He wasn't doing anything, just standing there, completely still. There was something about him, something that made you look twice. Then I heard the crack. It took me a second to realize it was a gunshot. The man stumbled. His hand went to his side. Blood seeped between his fingers, dark and fast. He didn't fall. He turned, scanning the area, and his eyes landed on me. People were screaming now, running. I should have run too, but I didn't. He took a step toward me, then another. His face was pale, jaw tight. He was fighting to stay upright. "Help me," he said. His voice was quiet, calm, like he was asking for directions. I looked around. The park was clearing fast. In the distance, I heard sirens. This man was bleeding out in front of me. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 8 years. I don't think about it when someone's hurt. I just move. I stood up and went to him. "Sit down," I said. "Let me see." He didn't argue. He let me guide him to the bench. I pulled his coat back. The bullet had gone through his side, just above his hip. Clean entry, clean exit. He'd live if we stopped the bleeding. I yanked off my scarf and pressed it against the wound. He hissed but didn't pull away. "You need a hospital," I said. "No. You'll bleed out." "No hospital." His eyes locked on mine. Dark eyes. The kind that don't ask twice. I heard the sirens getting closer. "I have an apartment nearby," I said. I don't know why I said it. Maybe because he'd said help me like he meant it. Maybe because I hadn't helped anyone in days, and I needed to feel useful. Or maybe I just didn't care what happened anymore. He nodded. I got him to his feet. He was heavy, solid. We moved slowly, staying off the main streets. My apartment was only 10 minutes away, but it felt like an hour. By the time we reached my door, his breathing was shallow. I got him inside and onto the couch. He was fading. I worked fast. Cleaned the wound, stitched both sides, wrapped it tight. I gave him water, painkillers, covered him with a blanket. He passed out before I finished. I sat on the floor across from him, hands shaking, covered in his blood. What had I just done? He woke up 6 hours later. It was past midnight. I'd been sitting in the chair by the window, watching him breathe. His eyes opened slowly. He didn't move right away. Just took in the room. Then me. You stayed, he said. You're in my apartment. You could have left. I could have. I didn't. He sat up slowly, wincing. The bandage held. No fresh bleeding. Thank you, he said. It was the first time I'd heard him sound human. Who shot you? I asked. He looked at me for a long time. You don't want to know. You're bleeding on my couch. I think I deserve an answer. A faint smile. What's your name? Margot. Margot. He said it like he was testing it. I'm Daniel. Okay, Daniel. Who shot you? He leaned back against the couch, eyes on the ceiling. Someone who thinks I took something from him. Did you? Yes. At least he was honest. Are they going to come looking for you? I asked. He looked at me again. Probably. I should have kicked him out right then. But I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe I was tired of being the person things happened to. Maybe I wanted to be the person who made a choice, even a dangerous one. You can stay tonight, I said. Tomorrow you leave. He nodded. Fair enough. I got up and went to my room. I locked the door. I didn't sleep. When I came out in the morning, he was gone. The blanket was folded. The bloodstains scrubbed from the couch. A note on the table. Thank you. You saved my life. D. Next to it, a stack of cash. More money than I'd made in 3 months. I stared at it for a long time. Then I sat down and cried. Not because of the money, but because for one night, I'd felt like I mattered. And now he was gone too. 3 days later, my cousin showed up. She didn't knock. She had a key. She came in carrying groceries and looking worried. Margot, you can't stay locked up forever. I'm fine. You're not fine. You got left at the altar. I wanted to tell her that wasn't even the worst thing that had happened that week. But I didn't. She made me coffee. We sat at the table. She talked about her kids, her husband, normal things. It felt like she was speaking a different language. When she left, I felt more alone than before. I went back to work the next day. The hospital was the same. Busy, chaotic, full of people who needed help. I fell back into the rhythm of it, checking vitals, changing IVs, talking to patients who were scared. It was easier than thinking. But at night, I thought about him. Daniel. The man who'd been shot in front of me and didn't flinch. The man who said help me like he'd never said it before. I wondered if he was okay. I wondered if I'd ever see him again. 2 weeks later, I did. I was walking home from my shift. It was late, almost 11. The streets were quiet. A car pulled up next to me. Black. Expensive. Tinted windows. The back door opened. Get in, a voice said. I looked inside. Daniel. He was dressed differently now. Clean suit, no blood. He looked powerful. Like someone you didn't say no to. I'm fine walking, I said. Margot. Get in the car. There was no threat in his voice. But there was certainty. I got in. The door closed. The car pulled away. Are you kidnapping me? I asked. No. Then what is this? He looked at me. His face was unreadable. I need to talk to you. You could have called. I don't have your number. You left me a note. You could have included it. A pause. Then, I didn't think I'd need it. What changed? He was quiet for a moment. The city lights slid across his face. Someone knows you helped me, he said. The air in the car went cold. What? There were cameras in the park. They saw you. Now people are asking questions. My hands went numb. What kind of people? The kind you don't want asking. I stared at him. So what happens now? Now I keep you safe. I don't need you to. Yes, he said, cutting me off. You do. His voice wasn't loud. But it was final. I looked out the window. We weren't going toward my apartment. Where are you taking me? Somewhere they can't reach you. For how long? He didn't answer. I turned back to him. Daniel. How long? He met my eyes. Until I fix this. What would you have done? Would you have trusted him? The car stopped in front of a building I didn't recognize. Tall. Old brick. No lights in the windows. Daniel got out first. He opened my door and waited. I didn't move. I know you're scared, he said quietly. But I'm not the one you should be scared of. Then who? Everyone else. I got out of the car. He led me inside. The lobby was empty, dim. We took an elevator to the top floor. The doors opened into a penthouse. It was beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Clean lines, dark wood, soft lighting. It didn't feel like a home. It felt like a place you hid. You'll stay here, Daniel said. For how long? I don't know yet. I crossed my arms. I have a job. A life. Not right now, you don't. I wanted to argue, but the look on his face stopped me. He wasn't being cruel. He was being honest. There's food in the kitchen, he said. Clothes in the bedroom. Anything you need, tell Victor. Who's Victor? As if on cue, a man appeared from the hallway. Older, gray hair, calm eyes. I'll be nearby, Victor said. His voice was steady. Kind almost. You'll be safe here, Daniel said. He turned to leave. Wait, I said. He stopped. Why are you doing this? He looked back at me. For the first time, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Something I couldn't name. Because you saved my life, he said. And I don't leave debts unpaid. Then he was gone. I didn't sleep that first night. I sat by the window and watched the city below. It looked so small from up here. So far away. I thought about calling someone. My father. My cousin. But what would I say? I helped a man who got shot, and now I'm in hiding because criminals know my name. They'd think I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. Victor brought me tea around midnight. He didn't say much. Just set it down and left. I drank it slowly. It was the kindest thing anyone had done for me in weeks. Daniel came back 3 days later. I was reading in the living room when he walked in. He looked tired. There was a cut above his eyebrow, fresh. What happened to you? I asked. Work. What kind of work gets you cut? He almost smiled. The kind I do. He sat down across from me, slower than usual. Something was hurting him. Let me see, I said. I'm fine. You're not. He stared at me. Then slowly he unbuttoned his shirt. There was bruising across his ribs. Dark purple, spreading. I didn't ask. I just wanted to get the first aid kit. When I came back, he was still sitting there watching me. I cleaned the cut on his face first. He didn't flinch. You should see a real doctor, I said. You are a real doctor. I'm a nurse. Close enough. I pressed the bandage over the cut. Why do you do this? Do what? Whatever it is that gets you hurt. He was quiet for a long moment. Because someone has to, he finally said. It wasn't an answer, but it was all he'd give. I finished bandaging him. He buttoned his shirt and stood. Thank you, he said. You keep saying that. I keep meaning it. He left again. I sat there, hands still shaking. Not from fear. From something else. Days blurred together. Victor became my only company. He cooked, brought books, didn't ask questions. Sometimes Daniel came by. Never for long. Always checking in. He never told me what was happening outside. I stopped asking, but I could see it wearing on him. The exhaustion in his eyes. The tension in his shoulders. He was fighting something, and he was doing it alone. One night, he came by late. Later than usual. He sat down without a word, head in his hands. I made him tea. Set it in front of him. Bad day? I asked. Something like that. You want to talk about it? No. Okay. I sat down across from him. We didn't talk. We just sat there. And somehow that felt like enough. Should she have pushed him to open up? Or was silence the right choice? 3 weeks in, I started to go stir crazy. I'd read every book. Watched every show. The walls were closing in. When Daniel came by, I was pacing. I need to leave, I said. Not yet. It's been weeks. I know. I can't live like this. He stood up, stepped closer. You think I want you locked in here? Then let me go. I can't. Why not? His jaw tightened. Because the moment you step outside, they'll know. And I can't protect you out there. Maybe I don't need protection. Yes, he said quietly. You do. We stood there inches apart. I could see it in his eyes now. He wasn't keeping me here out of control. He was keeping me here because he was afraid. Afraid of what would happen if I left. I'm going crazy in here, Daniel. He exhaled slowly. Looked away. 1 hour, he said. What? I'll take you outside. 1 hour. Then we come back. Really? He nodded. I almost hugged him. But I didn't. We left that night. It was cold. The streets were quiet. Daniel walked beside me, hands in his pockets, eyes scanning everything. We didn't talk much. We didn't need to. It felt good just to move. To breathe air that wasn't recycled. We stopped at a small diner. Sat in a booth in the back. I ordered coffee and pancakes. He ordered nothing. You're not eating? I asked. I'm keeping watch. Of what? Everything. I ate slowly, savoring it. Halfway through, I looked up at him. Thank you, I said. He blinked. For what? For this. For not treating me like a prisoner. Something softened in his face. You're not a prisoner, Margot. Then what am I? He didn't answer right away. Someone I owe, he finally said. But the way he said it made me think he meant something else. We walked back slowly. At one point, Daniel stopped. He was looking down the street, tense. What is it? I asked. Nothing. Keep walking. But I saw it too. A car. Idling at the corner. Dark windows. Daniel. Walk. We moved faster. The car followed. My heart started racing. Is that? Yes. He grabbed my hand. We turned into an alley. The car sped up. We ran. I don't know how long we ran. My lungs burned. My legs ached. Daniel pulled me into a side door, up a flight of stairs. We came out on a rooftop. He pulled out his phone, made a call. Spoke in low, clipped tones. 2 minutes later, Victor pulled up below. We climbed down the fire escape and got in the car. No one spoke. When we got back to the penthouse, Daniel walked me inside. His hand was still on my arm. I'm sorry, he said. It's not your fault. It is. He let go. Step back. This is my life, Margot. This is what I am. I know. No. You don't. He turned to leave. Daniel. He stopped. I'm not afraid of you. He looked back at me, and for the first time, I saw something break behind his eyes. You should be, he said. Then he left. I didn't see him for 5 days after that. Victor wouldn't tell me where he was. I tried not to worry. I failed. On the 6th day, he came back. He looked worse. Thinner. Shadows under his eyes. Is it over? I asked. Almost. What does that mean? He sat down, and for the first time he looked defeated. It means I'm running out of options. Let me help. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. You can't help with this. Then tell me what's happening. He looked at me for a long time. Then he started talking. Was this the moment everything changed? I'm not a good man, Margot. He said it quietly, like a confession. I run things. Territory, people, money. I make decisions most people couldn't live with. I didn't interrupt. The man who shot me, his name is Anton. We used to work together. Then he tried to take what was mine, so I took something from him first. What? His brother. I went still. I didn't kill him, Daniel said quickly. But I made sure he couldn't come back. Anton's been hunting me ever since. And me? You got caught in the middle. He knows I care about debts. He thinks hurting you will hurt me. Does it? He looked at me. Yes. One word. But it felt like 100. I've been trying to end this without more bloodshed, he said. But Anton won't stop. And the longer this goes on, the more danger you're in. So what do? We don't do anything. I end it. You stay here. And then you go back to your life. It should have been a relief. It wasn't. What if I don't want to? I asked. He stared at me. Don't what? Don't make this harder than it already is. I'm not trying to. You saved my life, Margot. And I'm grateful. But this? He gestured between us. This can't be anything. Why not? Because I'm not built for it. And you deserve better. He stood. I'll finish this. Then you're free. He left before I could respond. 2 days later, everything fell apart. I woke up to shouting. Victor was at the door, gun drawn. Daniel was on the phone, his voice sharp. What's happening? I asked. They found us, Victor said. My blood went cold. Daniel hung up. Looked at me. We have to go. Now. We ran. Down the stairs, into a car. Tires screeching as we pulled away. I looked back. The building was surrounded. Where are we going? I asked. Somewhere safe. Where? He didn't answer. We drove for an hour. Out of the city, into the hills. The car stopped in front of an old house. Isolated. Hidden. Daniel got out. I followed. Inside, it was sparse. A few pieces of furniture. Dust on the windowsills. This is it? I asked. For now. He locked the door. Checked the windows. Then he turned to me. I need you to trust me. I do. Even if I ask you to do something you don't understand. I hesitated. Then nodded. Good, he said. Because tomorrow, I'm ending this. He left before dawn. Victor stayed with me. The house was silent. I sat by the window and waited. Hours passed. Then Victor's phone rang. He answered. Listened. His face went pale. What? I asked. He hung up. Looked at me. Daniel's been taken. The world tilted. What do you mean taken? Anton has him. Where? I don't know. I stood. Then find out. Margot. Find out. He made more calls. 20 minutes later, he had an address. I'm coming with you, I said. No. Yes. Margot, this isn't. He came for me. Now I'm going for him. Victor stared at me. Then he handed me a phone. Stay on the line. Don't hang up. No matter what you hear. We got in the car. The address was a warehouse on the edge of town. Victor parked a block away. Wait here, he said. No. Margot. I'm not asking. He sighed. We moved through the shadows. The warehouse was lit from inside. Voices echoed. We crept to a side window. I looked in, and I saw him. Daniel. He was on his knees, hands tied behind his back, blood on his face. Anton stood in front of him, talking. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw Daniel's expression. Defiant. Unbroken. We have to help him, I whispered. We will, Victor said. But we need backup. There's no time. Margot. I didn't wait. I pushed the door open and walked in. Would you have gone in or waited for help? Every head turned. Anton smiled. Well, he said, this just got interesting. Daniel's eyes went wide. Margot, no. Anton pulled a gun, pointed it at me. Come here. I walked forward, slowly. Margot, run, Daniel said. His voice cracked. I kept walking. Anton grabbed my arm, pulled me close. Looks like I was right, he said to Daniel. You do care. Daniel said nothing. Let her go, I said. This is between you two. Anton laughed. Oh, sweetheart. You're the only reason he's still breathing. He pressed the gun to my head. Daniel lunged forward. Two men grabbed him, forced him back down. Here's what's going to happen, Anton said. You're going to watch me hurt her. Then I'm going to kill you both. Daniel's face went white. Unless, Anton continued, you give me what I want. I don't have it anymore, Daniel said. Liar. I'm not lying. Anton cocked the gun. Wait, I said. Anton looked at me. What if I had something you wanted? He raised an eyebrow. Like what? Information. About him. Things he's never told anyone. Daniel's eyes met mine. Confused. Desperate. You're bluffing, Anton said. Try me. He studied me, then lowered the gun. Talk. I took a breath. And I lied. I lied about everything. Made up stories about Daniel's operations. His contacts. His plans. I talked for 10 minutes. Anton listened. And while he listened, Victor moved. Silent. Invisible. He came up behind Anton. One clean hit. Anton dropped. The room exploded. Gunfire. Shouting. Victor grabbed me, pulled me down. Daniel broke free, fighting. I don't remember all of it. Just flashes. Movement. Blood. Daniel's hand in mine. Then we were outside. Running. Victor got us to the car. We drove. No one spoke. We stopped at a motel an hour away. Victor got us a room. Stood guard outside. Daniel sat on the bed, head in his hands. I stood by the door, shaking. You shouldn't have come, he finally said. I know. You could have died. I know. He looked up. His eyes were red. Why? I didn't have an answer. Or maybe I did. I just didn't want to say it. Because you would have done the same for me, I said. He stood. Crossed the room. Stopped in front of me. I've spent my whole life keeping people at arm's length, he said quietly. It's safer that way. For them. For me. He paused. But then you showed up. And you saved me. And I can't. He stopped. Looked away. I can't stop thinking about you. The air between us felt electric. Daniel, I'm not asking you to stay. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know. I reached up. Touched his face. He closed his eyes. I don't know what this is, I said. But I'm not afraid of it. He opened his eyes. You should be. I'm not. He leaned in. And kissed me. Soft. Careful. Like he was afraid I'd break. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. I don't deserve you, he whispered. Maybe not, I said. But you have me anyway. We stayed at the motel for 2 days. Victor kept watch. Kept us updated. Anton was gone. His people scattered. It was over. On the 3rd day, Daniel took me back to the city. To my apartment. It felt like a lifetime since I'd been there. He walked me to the door. What happens now? I asked. You go back to your life. And you? I go back to mine. Just like that. He looked at me, and I saw the war happening behind his eyes. No, he finally said. Not just like that. Then what? I don't know yet. He kissed my forehead. But I'll figure it out. Then he left. I went back to work the next week. My cousin came by, asked where I'd been. I told her I'd needed time. She didn't push. Life went back to normal. Except it didn't. Because every night I thought about him. And every night I wondered if he was thinking about me. 3 weeks later, there was a knock on my door. I opened it. Daniel. He looked different. Lighter somehow. Hi, he said. Hi. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He walked in. Looked around. I've been thinking, he said. About? You. Me. This. He turned to face me. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. And I'll probably do more. But I'm trying to be better. Trying to build something that isn't just destruction. He took a breath. And I want you in my life. If you'll have me. I stared at him. I'm not easy, he continued. I'm complicated. I'm dangerous. But I'm honest. And I'll protect you. Always. I crossed the room. Stood in front of him. I don't need protection, Daniel. I know. But I want you anyway. He smiled. A real smile. And for the first time, I saw him without the weight. Just him. Okay, he said. Okay. He pulled me close. And I let him. 6 months later, we were still figuring it out. He introduced me to his world slowly. Carefully. I met his people. Learned the rules. It wasn't easy. But it was real. And that was enough. We had dinner at his place one night. Just the two of us. He cooked. Badly. I laughed. What? He asked. Nothing. I just never pictured you in a kitchen. I'm full of surprises. Clearly. We ate. Talked. About everything and nothing. After, we sat on the couch. His arm around me. My head on his chest. Margot, he said quietly. Yeah. Thank you. For what? For seeing me. Not what I do. Just me. I looked up at him. You're welcome. He kissed the top of my head. And we sat there. In the quiet. Together. A year later, we were standing in front of a small chapel. Not the one I was supposed to get married in before. A different one. My father was there. My cousin. Victor. A handful of Daniel's people. It was small. Intimate. Daniel stood at the altar waiting. I walked down the aisle. Alone. Because I didn't need anyone to give me away. I was choosing this. He smiled when he saw me. And I knew. This was right. The ceremony was short. The vows were simple. I promised to stand by you. I promised to be honest. I promised to protect what we've built. I promised to love you. Always. We kissed. And everyone clapped. That night, we drove out of the city. To the house in the hills. The one where we'd hidden. He'd bought it. Fixed it up. It was ours now. We stood on the porch, looking out at the stars. You think we'll make it? I asked. I don't know, he said honestly. Good. I like that you don't lie to me. He smiled. I'll never lie to you. Promise? Promise. I leaned into him. And he held me. Not because I needed protection. But because we'd chosen this. Together. Life wasn't perfect after that. There were hard days. Dangerous days. Days when Daniel came home late and wouldn't talk. Days when I wondered if this was sustainable. But there were also good days. Days when he'd surprise me with coffee in bed. Days when we'd drive for hours, talking about nothing. Days when I'd patch him up, and he'd thank me like it was the first time. We built something. Not perfect, but ours. 2 years later, I was in the kitchen when he came home. He looked tired. Long day? I asked. Something like that. He sat down. I brought him tea. Thank you, he said. You're welcome. He looked at me. Really looked at me. I need to tell you something. My heart skipped. What? I'm stepping back. From what? All of it. The business. The danger. I'm handing it over to someone I trust. I stared at him. Why? He reached across the table. Took my hand. Because I want a life with you. A real one. Not one where you're waiting up wondering if I'll come home. Tears filled my eyes. Daniel. I should have done it sooner. But I'm doing it now. I squeezed his hand. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. He stood. Came around the table. Knelt in front of me. You saved my life, Margot. More than once. And I want to spend the rest of it proving I was worth saving. I pulled him up. Held him. You don't have to prove anything. I know, he said. But I want to anyway. 3 months later, we left the city. Not far. Just far enough. A house near the water. Small. Quiet. No guards. No guns hidden in drawers. Just us. Victor came by sometimes. Brought groceries. Checked in. He'd become family. Daniel started a legitimate security business. Used everything he knew, but for protection instead of control. I went back to nursing part-time. Worked at a small clinic nearby. We built routines. Morning coffee on the porch. Evening walks along the shore. Dinner together every night. It felt strange at first. Normal felt strange, but we learned it. Together. One evening, about 6 months after we'd moved, we were sitting on the beach. The sun was setting. Orange and pink across the water. Daniel was quiet. He'd been quiet all day. "What's on your mind?" I asked. He picked up a handful of sand. Let it fall through his fingers. "I was thinking about the day we met. The park." "Yeah." He smiled slightly. "I was bleeding out. And you just helped. Didn't ask questions. Didn't run. I'm a nurse. It's what I do." "No," he said, looking at me. "It's who you are." He paused. "I spent my whole life believing I was beyond saving. That I'd made too many mistakes. Gone too far. And now I think maybe I wasn't beyond it. I just needed the right person to try." I leaned my head on his shoulder. "You did the hard part, Daniel. I just reminded you it was possible. Maybe." We sat in silence for a while. Then he spoke again. "Do you ever regret it?" "Regret what?" "That day. Helping me. Everything that came after." I thought about it. Really thought about it. "No," I said finally. "I don't. Even the scary parts? Even those." "Why?" I lifted my head. Looked at him. "Because I was barely alive when I met you. I was just going through motions. After Marcus, after the wedding, I felt like a ghost. I took his hand. You made me feel real again. Made me remember I could make choices. Even dangerous ones." He brought my hand to his lips. Kissed it. "I love you," he said. "I love you too." We watched the sun disappear below the horizon. A year later, I found out I was pregnant. I told Daniel on a Tuesday morning. He was making coffee. I was sitting at the table. "I need to tell you something," I said. He turned around. Immediately serious. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong." "Then what?" I took a breath. "I'm pregnant." He went completely still. The coffee pot beeped. He didn't move. "Daniel." He set down his mug. Walked over. Knelt in front of me. Put his hands on my stomach. "Are you sure?" "Yes." His eyes filled with tears. I'd never seen him cry before. "I don't know how to be a father," he whispered. "I don't know how to be a mother. What if I'm not good enough?" I put my hands over his. "Then we'll figure it out. Together." He looked up at me. "I'm terrified." "Me too." He laughed. A wet, broken sound. Then he stood and pulled me into his arms. "Okay," he said into my hair. "Okay." Our daughter was born on a cold December night. 7 pounds, 2 ounces. Dark hair like her father. My eyes. Daniel held her like she was made of glass. Like one wrong move would break her. "She's perfect," he whispered. "She is." He looked at me. "Thank you." "For what?" "For giving me this. A family. A reason." I smiled. We gave it to each other. He kissed my forehead. Then looked back down at our daughter. What should we name her? We'd talked about names for months. Never agreed on one. But looking at her now, I knew. "Grace," I said. He looked at me. "Because that's what we were given," I said. "A second chance. Grace." He nodded. "Grace," he repeated softly. Our daughter made a small sound. And we both smiled. The first year was hard. Sleepless nights. Endless worry. Daniel was terrified of everything. Is she breathing? Is she too hot? Why is she crying? I'd never seen him so anxious. But I'd also never seen him so gentle. The way he held her. The way he talked to her. Like she was the most precious thing in the world. Because to him she was. One night, when Grace was about 6 months old, I woke up. Daniel wasn't in bed. I found him in the nursery. He was holding Grace. Rocking her gently. She was asleep. But he was crying. Silently. "Daniel?" I whispered. He looked up. Quickly wiped his eyes. "Sorry. I didn't mean to wake you." "What's wrong?" He looked back down at Grace. "I keep thinking about all the things I've done. All the people I've hurt. Daniel. And I wonder if I deserve this. If I deserve her. You." I walked over. Put my hand on his shoulder. "You're a good father. You don't know that." "I do. I see you with her every day. He shook his head. I want to be better. For her. I want to be someone she can be proud of. You already are. He looked at me. How can you be so sure? Because you're trying. That's what matters. He was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. Okay. He put Grace back in her crib. Kissed her forehead. We went back to bed. He held me close. Thank you, he whispered. Always. 5 years passed. Grace grew. Smart. Curious. Fearless. She had her father's intensity. My compassion. Daniel built a good life for us. The security business thrived. He was respected. Trusted. Not feared. It was a different kind of power. And he wore it better. We stayed in the house by the water. Grace learned to swim in the ocean. Built sandcastles on the beach. We had family dinners every night. Victor came by every Sunday. Brought pastries. Played with Grace. She called him Uncle Victor. He cried the first time she said it. Life was simple. Life was good. One afternoon, Grace came running in from the beach. She was 7 now. All legs and energy. Daddy! Daddy! Daniel looked up from his computer. What's up, sweetheart? There's a man on the beach. He's hurt. Daniel's entire body went rigid. Where? By the rocks. He looked at me. I saw the fear in his eyes. The past reaching back. I'll go, I said. Margot. I'll be fine. I grabbed my medical bag. Walked down to the beach with Grace. She pointed. There. A man was sitting against the rocks. Young. Maybe mid-20s. Blood on his shirt. He looked up when he saw us. Please, he said. I need help. I hesitated. Just for a second. Then I walked forward. Let me see. The wound wasn't deep. A knife cut. Clean edges. I bandaged it. Gave him water. What happened? I asked. Wrong place, wrong time. Do you need me to call someone? No. No police. I looked at him. Really looked at him. He was scared. Running from something. I knew that look. I'd seen it in Daniel's eyes once. You should go to a hospital, I said. I can't. Why not? He didn't answer. I finished bandaging him. There's a clinic about 10 miles north. They'll help you. No questions. He looked at me. Surprised. Thank you. Be careful, I said. He nodded. I took Grace's hand and walked back to the house. Daniel was on the porch. Waiting. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah. Just a kid who got in a fight. You helped him? Of course. He pulled me close. You have the biggest heart, he said quietly. I learned from the best. He smiled. That night, after Grace was asleep, we sat on the porch. Do you ever miss it? Daniel asked. Miss what? The simplicity. Before all this. Before me. I thought about it. About my life before. The small apartment. The empty calendar. Marcus leaving. The church. The emptiness. No, I said. I don't miss it at all. Even with everything that's happened? Especially because of everything that's happened. He looked at me. Why? Because I'm alive now. Really alive. Before, I was just existing. I took his hand. You gave me a reason to live, Daniel. Not just survive. Actually live. He squeezed my hand. You did the same for me. We sat in comfortable silence. The waves crashed in the distance. Grace's night light glowed in her window. This was home. This was everything. 10 years after the day we met, we went back to the park. The one where it all started. We brought Grace with us. She was 12 now. Growing too fast. We walked to the fountain. Stood where it happened. This is where I met your mom, Daniel said. Really? Really? What happened? Daniel and I looked at each other. I was hurt, he said. And your mom saved me. Were you scared? Grace asked. Terrified. But Mom helped you. She did. Grace thought about this. Mom's always helping people, she said. Daniel smiled. She is. Grace looked at me. Is that why you became a nurse? I became a nurse because I wanted to help people, I said. But I stayed one because your dad taught me something important. What? That sometimes one moment of kindness can change everything. Grace nodded seriously. Then she ran off toward the playground. Daniel slipped his arm around my waist. No regrets, he asked. Not a single one. Me neither. We stood there. Where it all began. Where I'd made a choice that changed my life. And I'd make it again. Every time. That night, I was reading in bed. Daniel came in. Sat down beside me. I've been thinking, he said. About writing it down. Everything. Our story. Why? So Grace knows. When she's older. So she understands where we came from. What we fought for. He paused. And so she knows that people can change. That mistakes don't have to define you. I closed my book. You want to tell her everything? Not now. But someday. Yes. I thought about it. About the danger. The fear. The choices we'd made. But also about the love. The growth. The life we'd built. Okay, I said. Let's write it down. Together? Together. He smiled. Kissed me. I love you, Margot. I love you too. So let me ask you something. If you'd been standing in that park 12 years ago, watching someone bleeding in front of you, would you have helped? Even if you knew it would change everything? Even if you knew there'd be danger, fear, moments when you weren't sure you'd survive? Would you still reach out? Because here's what I learned. Life isn't about playing it safe. It's not about avoiding risk or protecting yourself from pain. It's about the moments when you choose connection over fear. When you choose to help even when it's hard. When you choose love even when it's complicated. Daniel wasn't perfect. I wasn't either. But we were perfect for each other. And that moment in the park, the moment I chose to help instead of run, that wasn't just about saving his life. It was about saving mine too. 15 years after that day, we're still here. Still together. Grace is 17 now. Already talking about college. She wants to be a doctor. Daniel jokes that she gets it from me. But I see him in her too. Her strength. Her determination. The way she stands up for what's right. Victor passed away last year. Peacefully. In his sleep. We buried him near the water. Grace cried for days. So did Daniel. We keep his picture on the mantle. Uncle Victor. The man who protected us when we needed it most. Sometimes late at night, Daniel and I still sit on the porch. Watching the waves. Talking about everything and nothing. And sometimes we don't talk at all. We just sit. His hand in mine. The weight of what we've built between us. He's grayer now. So am I. There are lines on our faces that weren't there before. But when he looks at me, I still see that man in the park. Bleeding. Vulnerable. Asking for help. And when I look at him, I still see the man who taught me that kindness isn't weakness. That second chances are real. That love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. Every single day. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Last week, Grace asked me something. We were in the kitchen. Making dinner. Mom, do you believe in fate? I thought about it. About that day in the park. About all the choices that led me there. Marcus leaving. The wedding that never happened. The walk I almost didn't take. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe. What do you mean? I think some things are meant to happen. But I also think we choose our paths. We choose how we respond. She stirred the sauce thoughtfully. So you chose Dad. Every day. And he chose you. Yes. She smiled. That's nice. It is. She looked at me. Do you think I'll find that someday? Find what? Someone who chooses me. Every day. I pulled her close. I know you will. Because you're brave enough to help people. Even when it's scary. That's how you find real love. By helping people. By being yourself. Fully. Without fear. She hugged me back. Thanks, Mom. Always. Daniel came home late that night. Not hurt. Not in danger. Just late. I was already in bed reading. He undressed quietly. Slipped under the covers. Pulled me close. Good day? I asked. Long day. But good. Grace asked me about fate. What did you tell her? That we make our own. He was quiet for a moment. Do you really believe that? Yes. Even after everything? Especially after everything. He kissed my shoulder. You're incredible, you know that? You've mentioned it once or twice. He laughed softly. We lay there in the dark. Two people who found each other in chaos. Who built something beautiful from broken pieces. Margot, he whispered. Yeah. Thank you for saving me. You already thanked me. About 1,000 times. I know. But I mean it every time. I turned to face him. Even in the dark, I could see his eyes. Still intense. Still honest. Still the man I chose. You saved me too, you know. I did. You reminded me I was worth saving. He pulled me closer. And we fell asleep. Together. Like we had every night for 15 years. Like we would for the rest of our lives. Here's the truth. Life doesn't give you perfect moments. It gives you choices. And sometimes the scariest choice is the right one. I could have walked away that day in the park. Most people would have. But I didn't. And because I didn't, I found everything I never knew I needed. Love, purpose, family, a life that mattered, not because it was easy, but because it was mine, ours. So if you're listening and watching this, let me tell you something. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for safe. If you see someone who needs help, really needs it, help them. If you feel something for someone, really feel it, tell them. If you have a chance to change your life, to really live, take it. Even if you're scared. Especially if you're scared. Because the best things in life aren't the ones that come easy. They're the ones you choose. Every single day. No matter what. Daniel and I are growing old together now. Grace is starting her own life. And someday, she'll have her own story to tell. Her own choices to make. But for now, we're here. Still by the water. Still together. Still choosing each other. Every morning when we wake up. Every night when we go to sleep. For the rest of our lives. Because 15 years ago, I made a choice in a park. I chose to help a stranger. And he chose to let me. And everything, absolutely everything, changed. So let me ask you one last time. What would you have done? Would you have walked away? Or would you have stayed? I stayed. And I've never regretted it. Not for a single moment. Not even once. Let me know in the comments section. The end.